Yesterday we did a run through with our irrigation system, checked out all the zones, everything's working great, exactly as planned. So once that's in place, today we're getting ready to start laying out our planting beds and get ready to install our sod.
Mulch does a couple things. It's going to basically, it keeps the weeds down. The second thing is it keeps the moisture in the soil because the soil can't dry out. It's not exposed to the sun. Third, as it breaks down, it adds some nutrients to the soil. So, the mulch has, a lot of different uses. It's not just the aesthetic use of it, but it actually does something for the landscape. Our mulch that we're using today is double shredded hard bark mulch. It's well rotted and adds nutrients to the soil. A lot of times the tree guy will ask you if you want a load of mulch, the stuff that they chip up. That stuff is green. It actually takes nitrogen out of the soil to break it down, and it doesn't really work like this stuff does. So always, go the extra mile when you're going to do your mulch. It's going to last longer, it's better for the soil, and it's going to look better in the long run too. So the aesthetic is one point for doing the mulch, but it does have the other functions.
As part of our lead criteria for this house, we were minimizing the amount of sod we have, mainly just because of maintenance and things like that. And we're trying to get more towards planting beds where we can use drought-tolerant plants and things like that, kind of to enhance the house and the yard with more things like that, make it a little more environmentally friendly, get the owner out there to do some gardening and things like that. So we do have some large planting beds, but once everything, the plan is fully realized, the space will really develop great.
All right, our sod was delivered about an hour ago. It comes to us on pallets, 64, 65 rolls of pallet. A roll is 1.5 feet wide, about 10 feet long. It's about 10 feet per roll, roughly. And the sod itself, it's cut from the field. It has, soil on the bottom, a root mass on the bottom, and we have the nice green turf on the top. It's drought-tolerant sod. It's a seed blend called Black Beauty, and specifically made for the drought tolerance. So that all fits in with our LEED certification to have this be a LEED greenhouse. The process to lay the sod down is not really that complex. It's almost like laying carpet tile. Basically, the grade is prepared, it's raked out, it's nice and smooth. You take that roll of sod, you roll it out, you butt it together with the next roll, and you keep going. Usually you stagger the joints almost like the brick on the house is staggered, called a running bond, so none of the joints would line up as you put the sod down. Then you water it in really heavy, so it kind of mats to the ground, and 2-3 weeks later it takes off on its own. It's got a little bit of root to it, and it's a nice lush looking lawn.
After the sod is laid out, we can continue on to the final part of our landscape process, the rain garden.
To install the rain garden, we prepared a plan, and it basically called out and specified the plants that would be in the rain garden. Then we have the prepared soil in the rain garden, the stuff that's going to drain well, but also the interface between the prepared soil and the soil that we're doing as an additive, that is tilled or spaded up. So the interface is open so the water can get down to the lower levels of the soil. And so now that that's all been prepared, basically the plants are installed just like you would install anything else. They're potted plants. They come to us all in 1-gallon containers. We take them out, dig the hole, put the plant in the ground and tuck it in. We've got sort of a mix of grasses and flowers. The grasses are very drought tolerant. The flowers are a little less. As perennials go, they are drought tolerant. So we've got a little color, we've got a little motion with the wind, and we've got just a little interest in texture with that too. As people drive by from the street, they're going to see the grasses because they're taller, but those are in the back, and then basically the lower stuff's in the front, the taller stuff's in the back. The flower line is in the front, so they'll see the flowers up against the backdrop of the swaying little blue stem grass.
Visit the Built to Last website to learn about these topics and more.